Alright student, it's Mr. David again, and today I'm here with another video. I made this tutorial video for you to have a better understanding of the programming blocks, and you are all familiar with this programming interface. And not only going to be talking about the program, how to use the programming blocks, I'm going to be talking about some other things found in this environment. Like we have a lot of tools here. I'm going to be explaining how you can use these tools too, but my primary aim here is to make you understand, have a better understanding of these programming blocks, so that you can do a lot of stunts and freestyle and be flexible with your coding and programming. All right, let's get started. I'm going to start with this first tool here, programming/experiment list. If you click on it, it gives you two options. If you go to the project properties, and in a nutshell, this interface allows you to do your video editing for your project, load it and publish it for other people to see. But this is a very robust interface. We're not going to be talking about this today, so I'll quickly go back to the programming interface so that we can continue with some of the tools. All right, let's go back to our programming tool. Okay, I'm done with this. The second tool here is the pick tool. When you click on it, the pick tool allows you to pick programming block from the programming palette and onto the programming canvas, which is what I just done now. And the third tool here is the pan tool. I call it the hands tool. The hands tool or the pen tool allow you to move your program around. As you can see, allows you to move your program up and down and probably take it backward. It's very useful when your programming canvas is filled up and you want to create more space for more blocks to come. And let's say, for instance, if your blocks are no longer visible or they're becoming small, you can just use the the pan tool to move your program backward so that you can have more space in front here. Okay, that's the function of that tool. Let's quickly go to the third tool here. The third tool here, the comment block. The comment block is actually a block that allows you to give more explanation in a text format about the block you just dropped. So you can create a text block for each of the blocks that you've dropped on this program canvas. So you can see, let me quickly show you how it works. You can go to the pick tool here and just type something. It allows you to type something. Probably it's actually good for a tutorial like this. So that is all about the comment block. So let's quickly go to the save block. The save block is to save my project. Like this one that I'm working on now, I've not saved it. So if I want to save it, I'll just click on it. And when I click on it, it allows me to type the name of the project. So I can just call it what? Demo class. All right, that's good. Then save. Okay, so the save block is actually for saving your project. Okay, then we have this arrow that points to the left, and the arrow signifies undo. So I can undo, though I've saved, but you see I can undo everything. So I've gone back to the beginning. And the next one here is redo. So I can bring back everything that I've actually undo just now. So they can come back. You see, they're coming back. So the next block here is to zoom out your project, and the one that follows it is to zoom in your project. Let's quickly demonstrate that one by adding more blocks to this so that you can see it clearly. So I'm going to add more blocks to this. So this is it. So sometimes if my blocks are just too much and occupy the whole place, you can see I can see this block again, though you can use the grab tool to take it backward, just like I explained earlier. You see I'm using it to take it backward now, and bring it forward, take it up, bring it downward. Okay, now I can zoom in. See, I'm zooming in now, and I'm zooming out with this. Okay, and this block here is to reset my zoom. You see that? Resetting the zoom, and finally the last tool here is open content editor. So there are a lot of things you can do here, but don't forget that this particular section works together with your project property. So this is a very big robust section too. I'm not going to be talking about this for now. I'm going to leave it for another day to save time. All right, like I've said earlier, we're going to be looking at the action blocks, and the first block here out of all the action blocks we have here is the medium motor. The medium motor block controls the medium motor. There are some other attributes I'm going to be showing you about the medium motor. I'm going to pull this down. You have all these parameters here that you can change to suit your person depending on whatever coding or program you are working on. So right here, the first one here is the off mode. When you click on this, the block becomes useless. So if you have this block as one of your series of blocks, you just when it gets to that particular part where this block is located, it will just skip, it will not play. So I think this mode is not helpful. I don't know why it's here. So it's just like a mood mode. So the second one here is the on mode. If you switch it to on mode, the medium motor will just be spinning endlessly to infinity, you know, as in there's no timing, nothing. So even if you are using it in a project, like maybe you're using the medium motor to create a fan, at least you should time it. It shouldn't be like spinning endlessly like that. So I don't know why this mode is here, but that is the function of this mode. Let's go to the third one here. The third one here is the on for second mode. This is the mode that I'm familiar with. This is the mode that I use frequently, and this is the mode that is suitable mostly for coding. So here you can time the robot to move. This particular 50 here is the speed, the power of the motor, the medium motor. So if you want it to spin faster, you can take it to 100 from 50 in a clockwise way. You understand? But if you want it to spin anti-clockwise, you can take it to, you see it's minus 22, gradually increasing it to minus 29, minus 41 to minus 100. So when you have the minus sign, it spins anti-clockwise. When you have the plus sign, it spins clockwise. So if you don't want to be using this switch up and down mode here, you can just quickly type in minus 100, minus 100. You see that? So you can type in the figures if you want, if you don't want to use, but basically I prefer typing in the figure because I want to be exact, I want to maintain precision. All right, so you want the motor to spin for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, like that. This is where you operate that, and this is the coast mode and the brake mode. So this is the brake mode, and this is what? The coast mode. So this is the function of this. You know, sometimes when you're moving your robot and you want the robot to come to stop abruptly, like stop, like you're driving a car and you want to hit the brake at once, you understand, you can use this brake mode. But if the coast mode, if you put on the coast mode, your robot must decelerate and come to a stop. Just like in a moving vehicle, the vehicle must accelerate and maintain uniform velocity and finally decelerate. So if you put it on the coast mode, your robot will not stop abruptly. When the time is exhausted, it's going to come to a stop gradually. That is deceleration. So I think basically this is what this all about. Those are the features of the medium motor. It controls only the medium motor. All right, let's move to the next block. The next block is large motor block. The large motor block controls only one of the wheels of a moving robot. So it's either you change it the port here to control the right wheel, or you set it to control the left wheel. So the large motor cannot control two large motors simultaneously. It can only control one large motor. So here you have the speed. Like I've said, I've explained that earlier. You can make it 50, you can make it 100, you can change the parameter, and this is the time. You can make it spin for 10 seconds. It depends on you, it depends on what you're working on, and I don't need to talk about this mode again, the brake mode and the coast mode. So basically that is all about that. You see, this parameter you're seeing here is applicable to all the blocks, so I don't need to explain much about that. So I'm going to the third block. The third block is move steering. The move steering block does something unique. The move steering block controls two large motors. That's the two moving bays of the robot, the left and the right wheel simultaneously. So if you want to go move in a curvy way to the right, to the left, you want to move in a curvy way to the left, you just see the steering here, just like you're in your real life car. You just move it this way. You see that arrow bending and tilting to the left, and if you want to move it to the right, curvy way to the right, you can also do this. But I don't usually use this mode of moving to the right, to the left. Sometimes when you're writing a program and you want to maintain precision, you need to type in all these figures, you understand? So if you want to move to the left, you just type -30, and you see the way the arrow just tilts to the left. And if you want to make it the same thing all over, if you want to switch to the right, you just make it a positive figure and you just go to the right. So that's how it works here. And this is the speed of the vehicle. You want to make it 100, you want to make it anti-clockwise or clockwise. I've explained that earlier. This is where you do that. Then here is the duration. You want it to spin for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, like that. Based on your discretion, you can do that here. And the same brake mode thing and the coast mode thing. You see, most of the features are the same thing. It's just that each motor does something unique. So I think basically that is all about the move steering block. I'm going to click on the move tank block. I like this block. I usually say this. I like this block because it's smartest block. The move tank block does the same thing as the move steering block, but there are so many weird things, some stunts that I can do with the move tank block that the move steering block cannot do. So the move steering block still has some limitations and stuff like that. So I would advise my student, if you have anything to do with that has to do with either using move steering block or move tank block, I prefer you using move tank block because it's very flexible. Okay, basically this speed here, which is 50, is for the left wheel of the robot, while this 50 here is for the right wheel of the robot. So if I want to go left, if I want to go in a curvy way to the right, I can just make this one 70 and leave this one at 50. My robot moves in a curvy way to the right. And if I wanted to move in a curvy way to the left, all I need to do is to switch the parameters. I can make this one 50 and make this one 70. Okay, then I'm going to move in a curvy way to the right. So basically, if you want to move in a straight line, you just leave the parameters to be the same. I have 50-50 here, then I'll just play it and my robot moves on a straight line. So I'm going to get rid of this and go to the next block, which is the display block. The display block has nothing much to offer to me as far as I'm concerned, because I don't really use this block. This block actually allows you to write on the ev3 LCD screen and maybe add some shapes to the screen and images, and probably bring in some images from your laptop device into the screen and stuff like that. It's actually a fun thing for my students, but I don't really use it. So I'm going to take this back, get rid of it, and go to my sound block. Okay, the sound block is also another interesting block for my students, but I don't use it. You understand? It's fun to use this block because it has some interesting features, like you can play files. There are some preset files, tones, and some keyboard notes on this block that you can use as your robot is moving. They will just be playing, you know, stuff like that. You even have some other notes that you can, if you have some notes on your system, you can just import them into this environment. But I don't really use this block that much. The last block here, which is the brick statue light. This block here, I don't use it that much too. I think I've never used this block, but there's no big deal about this block. This block here actually allows you to turn on, you can turn off the ev3, the LCD screen of your ev3 intelligent brick, or you can switch it on. You know, sometimes you want to conserve your battery, you can put it off, and if you feel you derive pleasure leaving it on, you can leave it on. Then here you can change the lights to green, orange, red, and here is the pulse. You can leave it at true. When you leave it at true, it makes like a kind of remix of, as in when the robot is moving, you'll be seeing some lights switching, a kind of disco light and stuff like that. And when you leave it at pulse, you know, you just kill that mode. And I think that is all about this block. For now, I'm going to be wrapping it up, and I hope you're going to enjoy this video, and we'll be seeing soon, guys. I'm out.